This is Middle Class Matt from don'tbuythehype.blogspot.com and NC Sports Genius 1. You can actually follow me on Twitter at the same name, NC Sports Genius 1. Today I want to review the Carolina Panthers NFL schedule for this season. The NFL released the schedules last season, and I had high hopes for the Panthers this year. I was thinking they probably could be around a 10-win team, and they could probably make the playoffs. After seeing the schedule, I'm not so sure. It is definitely a hard schedule, and there's no conspiracy theory or anything like that like some fans have. It's just a difficult schedule, and they caught some bad breaks, some teams that are improving. I have three great loves in sports: the University of North Carolina football team, the University of North Carolina basketball team, and the Carolina Panthers. Now, I have other teams I pull for, like the Charlotte Bobcats, but those are my three great loves, and it's very difficult to be objective with them. I try to be objective in all my picks in sports. Last year I did very well in the NFL. I picked around 70%, if not more, of the games correctly. I picked 9 of 11 of the NFL playoff games, including picking the Giants to beat Green Bay at Green Bay. So I try to be objective, but with the Panthers it's very difficult. I probably could have been around 75% if it wasn't for all the Panther games that I picked wrong last year in the NFL. So it's difficult for me to be objective with those teams. With that said, I had high hopes for the Panthers, and I don't know that they'll have any better record than 8-8 after looking at it. Starting with the division games, the Panthers are going to have to play the Saints twice, the Buccaneers twice, and the Falcons twice. Now, I could see them going 4-2 in the division. Now that, if I said that right off the bat, most Panther fans or NFL fans will say if they do that, they're probably going to make the playoffs. That's a pretty good record. And it is. I could see them, a lot of scenarios, but I could see them losing 2 games to Atlanta, maybe splitting with Atlanta, splitting with Tampa Bay, beating the Saints twice. The Saints, with all the turmoil going around their team and all the scandal, they might be distracted. But who knows? The Saints still have Drew Brees. They still have Jimmy Graham, who's one of the best tight ends in football, one of the best weapons in football, Mark Ingram, etc., the rest of the team. So going 4-2 in this division, which is a very good division, going to be one of the best in football this year, would be very difficult. And with that said, I could see them doing that and still only winning 8 games. Now, the two teams, I have the schedule right here. I haven't memorized the entire thing, but I'll be looking down to see some of the games. The 2 games that stick out, though, that make me say, I believe the Panthers can win that for sure, are the Redskins and the Chiefs. But even then, there's some doubt. The Redskins are going to draft RG3, it seems. Now, I believe he's a project who's going to take a while. He looks incredible in the drills. But with his footwork and lack of running a pro system, who knows how long, if ever, he'll be before he becomes a good quarterback. But if he does come in and he has a Cam Newton-like effect, they already have a good offense around him and they have a very good defense. That could be a hard out for the Panthers. So the games that I look at that I think are guarantees, like those games, maybe not. The Chiefs were good 2 years ago. If they revert back to that form with all the good players they have on there, and if Matt Castle plays up to par, that could be a very difficult game. Then the 2 hardest games I see for the Panthers are the Chicago Bears, who many people picked to win the NFC and to beat Green Bay last year before Jay Cutler went down. And they're a very good team, complete defensive and offensively, especially with Jay Cutler adding Brandon Marshall to give him a target now to throw the ball to. And then another very difficult game they're going to have is they're going to be playing the Super Bowl champion Giants. So we know how hard that's going to be. Then the rest of the games are a lot of teams that have 500 records that really could be a lot better and have added a lot during the offseason. Even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for example, who I could see the Panthers beating twice, they had some very nice offseason additions, and they could be a lot better. They made some nice free agent transactions, so they could be a lot better team. But here's some of the teams that really are on the upswing that the Panthers have to play. They're playing basically the whole NFC West. They have to play the Broncos. Well, the Broncos were 8-8 and a good team last year, and then they add Peyton Manning. Well, how hard might that be? I mean, that could be a very difficult game, so anybody could see that the Panthers could lose that game. They're also going to play the Chargers, who have Phillip Rivers. They were 8-8 last year. They could be a lot better team. That could be a loss. And then they're going to play the Raiders, who were an 8-8 team, and play a smash-mouth brand of football and now have some stability at quarterback. That could be a lot better team. So those three teams easily could beat them. They're also playing the Eagles, who last year many people picked to win the Super Bowl or at least make a deep playoff run if Michael Vick stays healthy, and with the defensive additions like DeMeco Ryans they've brought in to kind of shore up some of the defensive problems they have with all their offensive weapons, that could be a very difficult team. So the Panthers don't really have an easy schedule. And like I was saying, before the schedule came out, I had hopes the Panthers would win 10 games and win the playoffs. I just looked at their offense. It was so complete. The only thing they needed was a quarterback, and Cam totally met those needs last year. Matter of fact, Andrew Luck will be lucky to reproduce the kind of season Cam Newton had. That Carolina's defense would be a lot better because of the injuries last year and those guys coming back. And then I felt they would meet their needs in the offensive line and the cornerback position and wide receiver through the draft and free agency. Well, they haven't done a lot for free agency, but the Panthers have put themselves in positions where their schedule is so difficult that they are going to have to bring in guys from the draft, and they're immediately going to have to be productive. They're going to have to bring in a corner, a receiver, and a defensive lineman who probably will have to immediately come in play and do well for them to be a 10-win team to go to the playoffs. So I'm pulling for the Panthers. I'm hoping they're going to win, but the odds are stacked against them. They have a very difficult schedule. This is Middle Class Matt from don'tbuythehype.blogspot.com and NC Sports Genius 1. I'll see you next time.